Hi, Saurabh. How are you doing?
Hi, good, thanks. Ashu, how you doing?
I'm doing great. So we are so happy to have you here in the live session with Australia Telugu. How are you
Yes,
feeling?
glad to be with you guys, and happy Australia Day and happy Republic Day to all our viewers. Um, so yeah, nice weather here in Melbourne. Perfect day to celebrate Republic Day in India and Australia Day. So yeah, glad to be here. And so today we'll be, talking providing a lot of information about recent invitation rounds, etc. And most importantly, I'll just quickly introduce myself. So my name is Saurabh Smar. I'm a registered migration agent with Global Vision Migration. So we have multiple offices. We have office in Melbourne, Canberra, and New South Wales. Um, so and even any of your followers in different states, etc. Feel free to mention in the comments here that you are watching us from Perth, Tasmania, Canberra. We want to keep this session, as interactive as possible. It's going to be 30-minute session, so we want to keep it as interactive as possible. So whoever is joining us, feel free to join us and talk to us as well. We're more than happy to talk to you guys on live like this. And most importantly, make sure you do comment your location, and then so we know exactly where you guys are, whether we manage to get to those many people who are living so far from us, etc. And we want to keep this session as informative as possible. And this advice, any advice given in this session is only for education purpose only. So if you want to discuss anything particular, make sure you do seek professional advice, and make sure you do check that the person you are taking advice from are actually registered with the Department of Home Affairs. That's very important. Do not take advice from an unregistered person or unauthorized person, because that's important. It might jeopardize your future as well. And feel free to share this video with your friends and families. Maybe you might not be the one needing this kind of information, but there might be some other people who might benefit from such information. So yeah, thanks for putting in that some people are watching from Perth, Sydney. Yeah, so this is really good. So we want to keep this as interactive as possible, where people do mention where they are, etc. And that's actually gonna help us how we doing these sessions, whether it's actually working out for people, whether we are able to reach these many people all around Australia. If you're from overseas as well, make sure you do mention your location.
Yeah. So, so we are very sorry for any technical glitches. Today being the first live immigration session, we are very sorry for any of the technical glitches or network issues. I think we have you back. Yeah. So, so guys, you can please post questions, whatever you want to know from Saurabh Smar, and he will be more than happy to answer your questions, be it with regards to education, universities, or PR pathways. So today is your lucky day wherein, he's going to answer all your questions and all of the options, PR pathways, starting from an engineer to any of the trade qualifications that you're doing. So please feel free to ask any questions. So Saurabh, I think we have people joining in and asking questions as well.
Sure, no problem at all. So say, for example, let's begin. I'm going to quickly talk about the recent round that happened yesterday from Victoria. They invited a lot of occupations, though they haven't invited any IT occupations so far. We haven't seen any IT invites, but they have invited engineers, accountants, and trade occupations. So that's important. So if you are in that kind of position, you certainly should be in a position to get a skill and get an invitation from those people from Victoria. And I've also seen New South Wales. They actually invited a lot of short-term SDSOL occupations. So occupations such as cook. These occupations were invited yesterday at 65 points. So that's very good. 60 plus 5, 65 points, 5 points from the state. So that's how you manage to get the invitation. And then say, for example,
So at what number of points? I think we lost him again. So sorry for the technical errors, like network issues. Okay, so in the meanwhile, let's just focus on talking about. Let us know where again you're all from if you're watching this video, and also please do share this with your friends and families so that they can get updates with regards to anything happening in Australia in regards to immigration. And thank you for all of those who actually let us know where they are from. People who are commenting that they're from Melbourne, Perth, Western Australia. Thank you so much. We have received 2 questions as of now from Vamsi, Krishna, and Balu. So let's just wait for Saurabh to get back in, and I will make sure to ask him this question, and then you would get your answers, guys. Thank you so much for patiently holding on to this. Let me see what I can do if... Okay. Yes, he's back.
Hi. Sorry, actually, I think there was some technical issues.
Yeah.
I was logged out of this. So yes, sorry about that, guys, and let's get on to it. So yeah, I was talking about the invitation rounds, that happened yesterday from Victoria, that a lot of people receive invitation. We have received quite a number of invitations for electrical engineer at 85 points. And that person, most importantly, guys, he wasn't even employed. We applied on a $0 income, and then he managed to get 190 invitation. Similarly, there's other occupations such as mechanical engineer, engineering technologist. So they also get to receive some invitation, as well as telecom engineer. So yes, there was a massive invitation round, and a lot of people do get the invitations recently. And so that's good. Those people now, they will be in a position to apply for permanent residency in Australia. That's exactly what they wanted, and the dream is coming true. And most importantly, what I've seen is that people do not take proper actions. So if they want to achieve something, they need to plan ahead as well. So I've seen like not many people do plan in advance. So they do. So if you want to look for such kind of options, permanent residency, etc., I would suggest you guys to, be prepared, because we are also planning that there's going to be another 189 invitation round might happen in the month of February. So last time that happened in the month of December, as you all know, a lot of people did get invitations. However, people didn't have their skill assessments. People didn't have their PT scores. They all were expired and stuff. And obviously, if it's expired, you cannot apply for the visa. And that expression of interest is just went down the drain. So do not make such kind of mistakes. Make sure you do have all your skill assessments, your English test letters, etc. Everything is valid at the time of invitation. Do not risk it at all. Most importantly, if the round's going to happen for 189. So what I've also seen is that a lot of people, they do not know whether they are actually eligible to apply for 189 or not. So a lot of people only think about 190 or 491, because that's what happened in the last 2 years when the department, due to COVID, they stopped inviting people for 189. And during that period, people only were getting 190 and 491. 189 was a long gone game. People didn't even know what 189 is and whether they are actually eligible for it or not. So what I'll do is I'll quickly break it down for all of you, so you would know exactly what it is all about, what is 189 visa, what is 190 and 491. So all these visas comes under general skill migration. So general skill migration, GSM, and then in there we have 189, which is a skill independent visa. In order for you to be eligible for that visa, you will need to have a minimum of 65 points on a skill select score, and you will need to have your occupation on MLTSSL list, which is a medium to long-term skill shortage list. However, if you have a, say for example, if you guys want like, okay, how about cook? So cook is a short-term occupation, which is an STSOL. It doesn't fall in MLTSSL. So cook cannot apply for 189. So most importantly, you need to have an occupation in MLTSSL list, and then only you'll be eligible to apply for 189, and need to have minimum of 65 points on the point scale of your own. Because it's a 189, it's an independent point tested visa. There is no state sponsorship available. That means you're not getting extra 5 points for this from the state. Now, moving on to the next visa, which is 190. There is a state sponsored visa. That's where you get extra 5 points from the state, and the state would be if you do meet the certain requirements as published by different states or territories. You do meet those requirements, and then you can apply for 190. That's state sponsored visa. And in order for you to apply for 190, your occupation can be in MLTSSL list and can also be in the STSOL list. If you say in STSOL list, then you can certainly be able to apply. Say, for example, if you are a cook, you cannot apply for 189. However, you can apply for 190, which is an STSOL, state's short-term skill occupation list. And as long as you do meet the state requirement, now every state has different requirement. Western Australia for 190 asks for 6 months of a job offer. Canberra wants you to have higher matrix score. Victoria wants you to be either employed in skill level 1, 2, 3, or even not being employed. So that's the thing. Every state has different requirements. You would have to satisfy those requirements in order for you to be eligible. And now we're moving on to the last visa, which is a 491. 491 is also a general skill migration. However, it's a provisional visa where it's a regional provisional visa. Now 491 also have two options. 491 as a family sponsor and 491 as a state sponsor. When it comes to 491 family sponsor, you need to have your occupation in MLTSSL list, which is a medium to long-term skill shortage list. If your occupation is in that list, you can certainly be able to apply for permanent residency. You can apply for 491 visa, provided that you're applying under a family stream. And in order for you to apply under family stream, you need to have your first relative, your eligible relative must be living in designated area of Australia. So say, for example, if I want to apply for 491 and I have my brother, my real brother or my first cousin living in Clyde North, which is regional, or South Morang, which is regional, or Geelong, that's regional areas of Victoria. There are the regional states in different states as well. You can certainly look up those postcodes. And then you can be actually eligible to apply for 491 family sponsor. Similarly, like state, the family member would give you 15 points for that. And those invitations are done via the Home Affairs. So same when they do a 189 and 491 family sponsored round, they do the rounds together. Now the 491 state sponsor, similar to 190, 491 state sponsor is if you do meet the state requirements, you certainly be eligible to apply for the state sponsored visa. State gives you extra 15 points to apply, and then you certainly be able to apply for such visas. And then you can have your occupation in MLTSSL list. You can also be on STSOL or ROL list if you want to apply for 491 under state sponsored stream. So these are the general skill migration 189, 190, and 491 visas in a nutshell for all of you.
Thank you so much for that, Saurabh. That was really informative. I'm sure people like me are actually not aware of all those visas, what are the requirements, and I'm pretty sure this would have been really helpful for all of them. And since also, guys, you can view this video right now, and also we will be posting it on the page as well, so that you can share it with your friends and other family members who would want to know more about information with regards to 189, 190, and 491, and what exactly are the requirements. If you see this video, you will get an idea in a nutshell, like Sarah mentioned. So Saurabh, we have a couple of people who have actually posted questions. I
Sure.
will just quickly read them out for you, and then maybe you can just answer them. So first question is from Vamsi. So he's asking, he's saying that he's finished his BTech from CSC background, and then he's asking if he can get his skill assessment done for engineering technologist.
Yes. So anyone who has done bachelor's degree in engineering or computer engineering for 3 to 4 years, they can certainly get engineering technologist skill assessment. And if a lot of people have seen that they do have qualifications in communications and electronics engineering,
Yeah,
those people can get a skill assessment as an electronics engineer. They can get it as a telecom engineer. They can also get it as a engineering technologist. So yes.
I hope that answers your question, Vamsi. Thanks so much for reaching out. Then we have Balu. So he's asking what was the changes in Australian immigration in 2023 for student visa?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So most important change for student visas is actually they have lifted the working hour limit for student visa holders until 30th of June 2023. So student visa holders can work full time. Their secondary applicant also can work full time as well until 30th of June 2023. Another important update is if you have applied for a student visa in Australia, you do not need to do your medicals unless the case officer specifically asks for it. That's another requirement that's been currently eased off for people applying for temporary visas in Australia until 30th of June 2023.
That's great. Hope that answered your question, Balu. Thank you so much for reaching out. Next up, we have Aman. So he's asking us number of points required for experienced construction manager with 8 years of experience in India.
Yeah, that's a good occupation. People, if we talk about construction project manager, let me just quickly have a look for you because we recently got one invitation for construction project manager, and that was at 65 points for 189 in the month of December. So there you go. Minimum point 65 points. Construction project manager. Yes, they received the invitation. So if you are in this kind of position, you should certainly get your skill assessments, everything sorted, and then be in a position to apply for the visa ASAP.
Hope that helps you, Aman. Thank you so much for reaching out. So next we have a question from Shiva. He's asking, I'm from banking industry. Is there any state issuing invitation for bankers?
So there is no, so most importantly, look, there is no occupation that says bankers. You will need to look for a skill assessment, either in the occupation, which is an MLTSSL list, STSOL list, or an ROL list. So what we recently did with one of our clients is that, they had experience working in the banking industry. However, they were working in compliance and auditing department. So we managed to get their skill assessment as an auditor. And then luckily that person listened to what I said, and we applied for their EOI, and then they actually got invited in the month of December itself. So yeah, that's what I said, make sure you do follow the advice when any professional provides you. And now the person is actually just waiting for their 189 visa grant.
That's great. Thank you so much for that, Saurabh. So guys, as you all know, you can still, whatever requirements that you have or whatever questions you have with regards to education or migration or anything in general, you can reach out to Saurabh, and then he and his team would be able to help you out. So they are from Global Vision Migration, and you can reach out to them. They have offices here in Melbourne, Canberra, and also New South Wales. And Saurabh keeps traveling around, so you can check their updates when he's available in the respective states, and then you can reach out to him and directly talk to him if you have any questions as well. And
we do have experienced migration agents in New South Wales offices, where they have experience of more than 10 to 15 years. So if you look at the combined experience of our team, we have more than 20 years of work, the migration experience combined together. So rest assured, you people are in actually good hands. If you are looking to migrate to Australia, yes, we know what we are doing, and we've been doing this from quite a while. And most importantly, I also want to talk about today, a lot of people have received their 485 visas, etc., or their 408 visas or 485 extension stream. Now they want to know how they can utilize this time period to get their PR option sorted. So I would, discuss a couple of courses that people can do if they think that their occupation is not good enough, etc. And then they can certainly, if they want to choose those courses, there are some recent intakes coming soon, so people can actually avail those good options. So the most important course that I want to discuss, the number one course, is actually a early childhood teacher. So that's a course, that's a occupation. It's in MLT assessor list. People get invitation at 65 points. People get invitation on the month of August, October, and December at 65 points. You get invitation at low points for 190 as well from states, because they do prioritize such occupation. And how do you get a skill assessment in such occupation? Like what course do you have to do, etc.? A lot of people do ask this question. So in order for you to get a skill assessment in such occupation as an early childcare teacher, you will need to either study a bachelor level qualification of 4 years, or you can also do a graduate diploma of early childcare. That's a 1-year course, 2 semesters only, starting in the month of Feb, which is next month. You can certainly still get admission in that course as well. It's only 2 semesters, and then you can be eligible to apply for, after you get a skill assessment, you can be able to apply for your 189 visa or 190, depending upon whatever options you got at that point. So say, for example, so there's a 2-semester course, grad dip of early childcare, you do that course, then you need to go to AITSL to get the skill assessment. Now the skill assessment requirement is, number one, you need to have this course, because this course also has ITE component, which is the initial teacher education. Plus you will need to see that you have a English language proficiency. So when I say English language proficiency, there are 2 options. Number one, they either want you to have a 8778 in IELTS academic only, no PT, only IELTS academic. So 8 in listening, 8 in speaking, 7 in reading, and 7 in writing. Or if you can show that you have 4 years of bachelor level above qualification in Australia, then you can certainly be able to apply for this course and then be eligible to get permanent residency as an early childcare teacher. So that's a very important information, guys. 4 years of qualification. If you do, some people do 2 years of masters and then they do this 1 year of course, then it's 3 years. Then you can just do a grad cert of business or something, 2 more semesters. That's 4 years. You don't have to get 8778. Then you can certainly get the skill assessment as an early childcare teacher and get 65 points and as minimum points, and you can get the invitation as 189. So that's
one quick question. So what visas do people have to be in order to apply for this course? Can they apply when they're in any visa, or do they have to be a specific visa to study it?
They can, as long as your visa, whatever visa you hold, gives you permission to study, you can certainly be eligible to apply and study this course. And currently, there are some scholarship options available as well. So I will put my WhatsApp number and our website, so you can go to our website and you can send us an email, put us an inquiry there as well, or you can send us a message on our WhatsApp, and then we will be more than happy to help you guys out in terms of that. And we do have Telugu speaking people who works with us, so we have a team of up to 6 to 7 people, 7 to 10 now. I forgot New South Wales. So yeah, and then we do have Telugu speaking people, Telugu, Hindi, Punjabi, Vietnamese, Thai, English, Nepalese. We have a lot of people, our staff member, our team, who do speak different kind of languages. So if you are comfortable in speaking in other languages, we are more than happy to, answer your inquiry in that language as well.
That's great. Thank you so much for that, Saurabh. So guys, like you've heard, if you need to, then you can reach out to Saurabh for this PR pathway that he just spoke about, early childhood teacher, and then he would be able to help you out. So I will just quickly, okay. There's someone asking if, they have just graduated in civil engineering and they want to pursue their master's either in civil or IT. Which one would you recommend?
So they did bachelor's in civil and then they're looking to do it in IT.
Yeah, Masters in Civil or IT, they're asking which one would you recommend?
Because based on their bachelor's, they can easily get a skill assessment as a civil engineer. They don't need to study Master of Civil Engineering. If they want to pursue further career options as a construction project manager, etc., they can go down that pathway of studying masters, etc. However, there is no need for them to do the masters in the same domain they did bachelor's in, because bachelor's is more than enough to get them a skill assessment. It's up to their career choice as well. Not everyone wants to get permanent residency in Australia. Some people wants to gain that experience and the qualification and want to go back. Another thing is, say for example, if you do say masters in business analytics, data analytics, those kind of courses, you can do that as well. So there's a plenty of options available for a lot of people that they can certainly they can choose whether they want to, but most importantly, they need to make a decision whether they want to do it based on their PR or they want to do it for their career.
That's great. Hope that answered your question, Balu. Thank you so much for reaching out today. So somebody just asked another question about visitor visas. If they heard that there are so many visitor visas that are being rejected. Is it true, and what is the case?
So obviously, visas, as the visas gets granted, visas do gets rejected as well. There could be many reasons for a visa to get refused. Most importantly, on the basis of the fact that that the person doesn't meet those requirements. They think that they thought that they did meet those requirements. However, the department, when they checked their claims, they were not correct claims. They used their incorrect information, etc. So there could be multiple reasons as well. Some for student visas and visitor visas, GT is the most important criteria, genuine temporary entrant. But they're going to be, stay there for a short period of time and they would go back to their home country. That's very important. And those kind of things, are very important as well when people are trying to apply for their permanent residency, etc.
That's right. Thank you so much for clarifying that. So another question that someone asked is, for ICT security specialist, what are the chances at 80 points for 189?
189, I've seen all the IT occupations receive invitation at 85 points. So I would suggest people to increase your points to at least 85, and then certainly be in a good position to get the invitation.
So there's one interesting question, and maybe that's our last question for today. So they're asking, can somebody who is in India apply for a student visa at the age of 34?
Yeah, people can apply. We applied for a client. They were 67, and they managed to get the student visa as well, to study English. So there is no right or wrong age to upskill yourself, to gain further education. People do come and study at the age of 30, 40, age is not the limit, I guess. There is no requirement. The minimum age requirement is there for a student visa, but there is no maximum age limit.
And what is that minimum age requirement?
So at least 5-year-old.
5 years. Okay.
So we did schooling visas for people, for kids to come from different countries we have our clients, who are currently studying in year 6, 7, year 12, 10. So yes, so we do have kids, as clients as well, we help them get an admission in a school, and then they come here and study, get the visa, etc. as well.
So is it like private schools? Of course.
No,
okay.
They can be government schools as well. They are Department of Education. They do issue COEs, and then people get visas based on that as well.
And then can their parents accompany them?
So one parent can accompany them as a guardian, student guardian visa, but that person would have very limited working rights, etc. in some circumstances. And so only one parent can accompany them. However, these people, they sometimes stay with homestay providers, or they sometimes have their relatives living with them.
This is actually pretty interesting. I never heard of this.
Yeah, no, we do that a lot. We do help a lot of kids come to Australia as well to study their school and stuff. So yeah.
So all those people watching from India, if you actually want to send your kids here to Australia for studying, then reach out to Saurabh and he will help you out.
Yeah,
This is
easy
nice.
stuff.
Yeah. Okay. This has been great, Saurabh. This has been a pretty informative session. We love having you take the first immigration live session on our page, Australia Telugu. And thank you so much for joining us today.
No problem. Well, thank you so much, guys, for giving me this opportunity. Thanks to Team Telugu and Ashu for organizing such a lovely session. Thank
Thank
you,
you.
guys, and have a good evening.
Thank you. See ya. So, guys, thank you so much for joining today's session and actually asking your questions. I know we might have not answered all of your questions. So, ఏవైతే questions miss అయ్యామో చాలా సారీ. ఇప్పటికి హాఫ్ అన్ అవర్ చేసాము ఈరోజు సెషన్. And we will plan accordingly. And next time నుంచి ఇంకా ఎక్కువ చేయడానికి ట్రై చేస్తాము. And also, we are happy to have your feedback. ఏ విధమైన ఫీడ్బ్యాక్ ఉన్నా కూడా మాకు పంపించండి, మేము దాన్ని ఫాలో అవుతాము. అట్లీస్ట్ విల్ కన్సిడర్ ఇట్ అండ్ దెన్ వీ విల్ ట్రై అండ్ గివ్ ద బెస్ట్. సో ఇలానే మా పేజ్ని ఫాలో అవుతూ లైక్ చేస్తూ షేర్ చేస్తూ చాలా we really appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Until next time, bye bye.